Kimat bakongsan Khubor Ka Taiew. Hatu ke Meghalaya kala janpoi kum ke Delhi. Atli ki hospital omdan Jakarta shu. Kajing sapriang kanum duna kinsan tangshu sedang ke lockdown. Ye ke exam HSSLC on sapulong onda kajinglong jingman kalabiang. Kata ajur ke lockdown yuki nongrep kirpat ban penyo de ki yogi babiang. Ngidei banyelong kawai na kabenta banyakune ke klam COVID-19 ongi kong amprin lingdo. Kajingkermen yuki nongrep on saple biang ye ki yo delang. Pinram ke DC Riboy District ye ki bapin sapriang Khubor Hamsaya. Ke Khubor Kirpang ke jingsungu ye baro ki bah kamado lali ki frontline workers ki batray na kabenta banyada yang ni na kaklam jingpang COVID-19. Syabanya cakmat berkini ke Khubor ke RiKhasi Channel kamdan jingtemu ban penting ngane penduk mense mi ki briu hindre ke jingtemu galong ban yarab baki paj ba kin sngotu ye ke jingma ka baap lada kim kit khia ban yada lade ki Khubor ki pau mentaka sngi khamtam ka pos na we u doctor S Nongbri na umsning haba ula pos ban pentip ki paj ba balada kim husiar kan long kum Delhi na marba ka hospital sarkar ka behe doru ka civil hospital Shillong kamla shu ban priang ki nong pang COVID-19 na marba ki jingthia ki ladam kawai pat ka hospital ka bladap ki jingthia na ka benta ki bangat COVID-19 ka dei ka Dr. H Gordon Robert Hospital Jayau.
Dr. Amanwa Director ke DCSMI Ulaong ba kejing sapriang kejing pang COVID kat hendai kanum sukino tangsu sedang ke lockdown hadin katu kat ngisngi namar ka bapa menta kidei ki baladon na du kisngi baladep syua ka lockdown. Ulaong bada kejing trailang baro kini kejing kin sakham jai bat ulai thuru ba civil hospital kadang biang ki oxygen bat dei ban khuslai.
The benefits or the effects of the lockdown you will not see immediately. This lockdown we have done now to contain the spread now. But what has already happened is showing up now because of what happened in the past 2-3 weeks. It's showing now. With this lockdown, we are very confident that by next week cases will come down. And one more time, I will say that these things are not possible with human effort alone. It is with God's grace, and we believe. This is a place where we believe. We have a very strong belief. Each and every household in their own faiths are putting the prayers, are offering the prayers in their own faiths. And with that, we are very confident that God will be with us always. See, the situation in the entire state, now we are having cases across the state after a lull. And the situation, as we have already told, is grim. And to overturn this situation, our health workers are going full swing 24/7 and unnecessarily don't tire them. This will pass. It will pass with your help and with our help. Together, we can make it, and we will sail through. As of now, as I've already said, the situation is not good. And once we say that from our side, we mean that it is not good. And to stay inside your house, your homes, where it is the safest place. If you come out, you spread, you will be spreading not only to your neighbors, but inside your own house. It will depend from case to case. When you have a mild symptomatic with other diseases, you have to treat the other diseases, so that particular case will have to be there. So as far as possible, asymptomatic, mild asymptomatic, or symptomatics which do not have any other comorbidities, we are encouraging them for home treatment or if not, that is not available, then we have made facilities in the Corona Care Center.
Umala kamen rumboy menteri katanar puli puthi jong kejela haka shipot rek mentau benai ulapan bena bai ke exam HSSLC dan ke exam class 12 kawalapan sange shwa namar ke jing hangdam on sapelong hadien bak jinglong jingman haka jela kalabiang habai kren beklap thai khubor ulong bak sarkar ka haban perkhat rui ki ars pangot ki khana school ke biajan bar ke biyo ke jingpang COVID-19 lane ki virus contact banamar ke ni ka daw kimla ban thoi ke exam Ulong ru bakani ka klam kala khata shika de e ki khana school berginoi kai barhabaro hi kiliang kumtau kentui ki paj ba bakin mi shakmat ban sheme katika baban kongu ye ki jing perkheng balabo da ka sarkar.
I'm very happy that that MBOs and all the teachers are working in tandem to see that the issue regarding the student welfare is solved, being conduct of exam, being the this evaluation of answer script. So the process will go, and I cannot set a timeline, but I have said that I have very much appreciate the effort of the teachers, the effort of the MBOs to see that whatever issue which come at hand they could solve immediately, so that the student will not suffer, or the anguish and anxiety of the student will be less. After we will review and will inform the candidate in due course of time. Not only that, there are about 200 students who could not do the exam because they are high risk contact or with the COVID patient, so they could not do the exam in the last few days. So we have to think about that also. So these two pending issues at hand, which we have to take in due course of time. So necessary instruction will come as we have asked, and when we see that it is feasible for us. With limited capacity, limited mobility, that we could complete this exam.
So around 200 student examinations due to COVID positive.
No, not COVID positive, because they have come into contact with the high risk contact. So to prevent anything, so they could not do the exam. So this will be doing. They will complete in due course of time. Internet issue is a major issue not only here, all over the country, and the government of India has taken a proactive step in this sector. So I hope that in a few years, we are not expecting in a month, we could overcome this, but education cannot wait. And moreover, we have seen that online classes does not help much the students. So I wish that the safe environment could be there for the student to return into the classroom. That is my wish. The government has launched the program for this 45 years and above. But it is very sad that till day before yesterday, our 45-46% of the people in the state have been vaccinated. Many they have not come forward. So we are trying. So and we as and when this for 18 years and above this vaccine come. So we request that those who are eligible, that they should go forward and vaccinate themselves, so that we could take care of ourselves, prevent our own health. By prevent our own health, we could prevent the health of our family and friend, and also the student in general. You see, the way forward for us now is that to see, number one is that we have seen this pandemic is a major concern to each one of us. So it affects every way of life. So the first and foremost is that since the government has launched a massive mass program for this vaccination, so I request that each one of us who are eligible to come forward and do our vaccination. And then I request that each one of us should respect the whatever instruction and SOP being issued by the health department from time to time. This is very important because it is only by breaking the chain of this COVID so that we could fight him. That is very, very important. So yes, it affects all walk of life, but the thing is that we have to overcome together. Together, we have to overcome only by standing together, respect each other, and respect the instruction given by the government from time to time.
Kajing dam ka sorkar nadu kini kisni baladep khamtam ha East Khasil district ha ka bakadon ka yodi lang bar ka yodi khutia kala khata jori ki nong rap na keleng ki jaka ki babon ki nong rap ki balapan khre banai di ki jingthung jongki kila shusa ha kalingo shanu on pun na ne di ki mar rap jongki la ban greu hang ni baka sorkar lingba ka tanat ka rap karyang lingba u number iwe khandai iwe hinyo kala yarap iki nong rap ki ba ma jing da ka ban biang ki kalikit bar ban thiet iki mar rap jongki Wala kat taru kinong rap kirang mat ikijing bandi ikijing thung jongki. Namar gani gadaw ka Seng Hills Farmers Union lingbau General Secretary ba Alphon Kharsanteo kalami shakmat ban kaner kti ban yarap ikinong rap.
Adan pinipek kani sini sedian jonga. Kini ke jeng itanan jong kani jong gini kilom kiwa namar baladap lu de jeng thung jeng tap. Ka kinong rap ke jongi kiladap ban pendap yaki de jeng thung jeng tap. Ni hang ni unu pan ubangin sasai no. Au benai June. First week, second week. But naka jingkerman kabi kinong rap kila da bantung yung kini kijor. Pat bantun poy siya kiyo kihap naka banta. Bakin yo ya kakamay kikaji. Henry nito ifi. Dang menta awan na po iyo maulong. Kajing kalong ba sipang nila sabi hakipulit. Sipang kayo kalakhang. Bat niya kendu sibun ba kijing kum kinong rap. Kum General Secretary jong kahel sama union. Bada ka union ngilami syakman. Ban yarap ikinong rap. Ban rescue iki jordan kinong rap. Bad ban penyak yaw iki kat bangila sin ai. Tenri ka banga saukhya hang ne kalong ba. Kini kimar kibangin sami no menta. Ubanay Mei, ubanay June, kibanay July. Syano kinong rap kijongi. Kin penpoy kini kimar rap. Menta ngawan ngaya lenti menta nang ne. Kinong rap kilafon, bat ngawan ban rescue. Yautit, ubaday na kani kalait kerong. Ubaday na kani na po. Light dingsay. Kitit, kijong kinong rap. Tehenray menta kajing kili kalong ba. Siya nung ngilid di kini kimar. Kiba kinong rap kajong ikilapan mi. Lada. Para mangi. Lada. Kum kariba kajat benreo. Nisngaw ban bu ikajing kerpat. Baka day tang kajing yatray lang. Kabangi bala banwanra bangila ban yarap ikinong rap kajongi. Kadai kajing sokya kabahadu kata-kata. Namar kadai kakam kabangim bansi. Hapreng jong kadai kaklam. Ngiru ngisep tiang yaw ne kunyang jengpang. Ngiru ngimbansi. Bangihaban tur haki yaw kihat. Namar ladang ngimtur kijor jong kinong rap kinyap. Namar kata-kadaw ngabu ya kajing kerpat. Ya baro kinong bam ya baro kipat ba mas ngoba banwan sakhamat banya trailang bat kahil sama union nagabenta bangin job ya kani kamisyan ban penya yo ya kimar kinong rap idan kathong ban pensilori kinong rap ban rap Henry ada ngimyo ya kayo kahat kababyang nganong ngaipi ngikum kinong rap insat hat ban rap habangila thait ban rap nganong ngaipi kan sadan kajing kerdu bam ka basir khai hakari ka jongi mentangi i kani kajing jerngam jong kani ka lum kawa namar badap di kimarap kadan kajing kermen wada preng kani ka klam Henry namar bakambiang kayo kahat namar bangi sabi asarum ni sabi asaneng kimarap ki jongi kisumong kimarap ki jongi kisu jotno tang habara asarum saneng Henry ngan ong ifi kalongru kajing kerpat ya ka sarkar bakan yarap manyatrilang bat kahil sama inen ikerpat ya ka sarkar bakan ay kakti kaman ban ay kakti kadiang hakabakum kani bangila banyarap ikinong rap
Kesorkar jela haka khalai terek bentau benai kala rairu banbu iki community isolation center hamanla ki district jong ke jela katkum ke jingdan kam kini ki center kinde na kabenta ki brio ki blood test positive no covid-19 hindre ki bamdan pat iki jing shita mahakamet jongki yakni on pentre kam da ke jia trelang bat ki board district kinong tre jong ke block bat kinong penyat shnong
cluster or community isolation center will be created in every district. In every district, up to the community level, depending upon the situation, depending upon the requirement, and this decision is now being communicated to all the deputy commissioners for necessary action. These centers will gather those positive cases which is asymptomatic or falls under category A and B. They can be kept, they can be isolated in such created centers as they don't need for medical treatment, be it in the hospital, district or in Shillong, to prevent the unnecessary pressure of the hospitals in the state. Therefore, we decided and authorized the deputy commissioners in consultation with the respective BDOs in charge, officers in charge, as well as with the concerned Dorbarshno, Committee, government will immediately step in for any necessary assistance.
Komisi benta naka jingale jong sarkar khamtam e katan ka kai khia ban penduna ya ke safriang jong ri khang jepang sekipat ba khamtam e section ki thau na kaleng katan ka kai khia kala penang ya random test sang ni apa nomsong khamtam e hana ka jaka yo ka ba kidan sibun ba ki dukan ba ki beriru ki basong dukan ki bun ba kan ke jaka mantaka sila pelong ya random test ha ka ba baro ki nang dukan ki lalik ban test selede ba tunjuk uru khamtam ka dong ngum siap akabaka jurba kan ka jingpang coronavirus la khat yui na koi ka yeng matlang ya karan batas khang dengan lap ya ka jing saprang jo kan ka jingpang bat ya kan ka ran batas la pelong kan ka hall jo kan ka yeme jong ka nyam hindu hane apa nom siap hane apa jan yo nom song
Dagi spangut ki pajba kilalet bantes ya lade hanomen song menta kasi khatwai terek ujemang araja arpwe na ka benta ban wat batlap iki bayabet ek jingpang coronavirus laban kedo hangne bakanomen song kade gawene ki containment area jong kanong ba shalong na mar bakila bon ki bayabet ek ni ka jingpang ya ka jingta sale assembly jong ka jakamani jong kanyam hindu ha ka te ka shnong ki babon ki belawan test ki de ki basong dukan bat kumjuru iwe de khat na ka wege yeng kani ka jaka ka de ka babon bha ki basong dukan bar ka jaka ka babon briu bha kabaya shong khlaya jai pendriu ya ka jingta sale ah bedeng ka jing para bah ki pulit bar ki nong trai ka tana ka koi ka khia khnang bi ki pai ba ki num pen khen ki kendon ki khubor ki badangsa ngidei banyelong kawai na ka banta banya khone ka khlam covid-19 ongi kong amprin lingdo ka jingkerman ki nong rep on supply biang ya ki yo delang Pinram ka DC Riboy District ia ki bapen sapriang Khubor Hamsaya ka Khubor Kirpang ka jingsongo ya baro ki bah khamado lani ki frontline workers ki batrai na ka banda banyada yang na ka khlam jingpang COVID-19 bar ki we de ki Khubor Kokong Ampri Lingdo MLA Kaseng Congress benta kasi ke khat South Tarik Ujamang kala penpau ba minta kelade kapor ba baro kide banya mi shikamat banya trailang na ka benta banya khuni kani ka klam COVID-19.
This is the time communities have to get together. You cannot depend on just the darbars alone at this point of time, because too many crises are occurring everywhere. We are willing to volunteer. Will the government call us to volunteer? I think that what is required at this point of time is a movement of individuals with a conscience. If people are not responding to the seriousness of the situation, get people like us who are willing to volunteer. We're willing to volunteer to tell people, please, if you have no business to being on the road, do not come to the road. But the point here is that this morning again in civil hospital, the magistrate did call for assistance from the police, the Sadar PS. But when the police personnel arrived, they just stood and they just stared at everybody passing by. No immediate training has been given to these groups of individuals. So I think there should be an immediate online exposure of some sort of a training to all police personnel. That when you go and assist at the time of a pandemic like this, you're expected to do these duties. Okay, so that is also not happening. I'm told that even in Negrams, where now the government is saying will be the only critical COVID center, I'm told that there are insufficient doctors. There are many doctors or doctor students who have passed 3rd year, 4th year, 5th year medical who have come back home. Why don't you call them to be your volunteers? Many individuals will be willing to sacrifice, but anyone who volunteers needs first to be protected. So give them the vaccine first. If that is the incentive you give individuals, I'm telling you, too many people will line up to help the government. Because right now, the most critical place is East Khasi Hills, particularly Shillong City. We are being hit in a big way. Out of all the deaths you see, it's only 70% which are from our district, from Shillong City. Look at the positive cases. I've been studying this closely. I'm told that doctors, even if you hire them, if you don't give them some sort of a training to utilize a ventilator, may not be actually of any assistance to the hospital. Because trained individuals to operate ventilators, trained individuals to help government for random testing. Imagine these 672 cases today do not include random testing. They were all they were all individuals who were at high risk contact. So imagine what's going to happen if government again begins, the random testing. At this point of time, you cannot look at anything else. And if you have to save as a government, those of us that can afford to pay for our vaccinations, let us pay so that you will buy more and you will give those others who cannot afford it. That should be the policy. Many citizens of the state are willing to contribute, to pay for the vaccine. We're willing. So you just have to start cracking. You just have to start cracking. And it is not about Government of India any longer, because Government of India has already washed their hands. They have told states, we leave it up to your wisdom. So states should be proactive. But again, I reiterate that we are grateful to all the health workers, the doctors, the officials of the government of Meghalaya who stand on duty every day during this period of crisis. We do not say that we disregard their contributions, but we are saying that maybe you do not have enough manpower to handle a crisis situation like this today in civil. If only they had some volunteers to help maintain social distancing amongst those who have come for the vaccination. There was no social distancing at all. Even inside the hall where my son was getting vaccinated, there was no social distancing. High probability that anyone could actually be asymptomatic and be a carrier, but unfortunately, we are not prepared. And we need to start acting. We need to put our foot down. We need to start delivering. These numbers have to immediately be arrested. You cannot have every day you're saying Meghalaya's new high, Meghalaya's new high, Meghalaya's new high. This new high now has become shocking and more shocking and very shocking. So if government needs help, call for a Zoom meeting. Let us all unitedly put our heads together. Put our heads together. If opposition, government, bureaucracy, health department, plus volunteers from Scouts and Guides and Red Cross come forward, nothing is impossible. We are a small population, we can still take care of our own, but we need to have out of the box ideas, and we need to get experts to help us design an approach. This is an epidemic. Get an expert. There are enough experts in this country who can help us at this point of time. You cannot expect an IAS officer to also be an expert in dealing with epidemics. You cannot expect a medical person to also be a doctor and then to also look at all of these other duties.
Haka khalai tere ujamang araja arpoi ke sorkar jala kala pentep bai ki yode lang on supply biang kumbale menchem snem kawai ha opeshulong bat kawai ha ki benta jong kasmet kani galong ke jingkerman ikinong rap ha ka bakila barwande ki jingde ki jongki uba prestun tensong bai krem kala patai khubor ula pentep ru bagi bo district kidang war shu ki jaka banbu ikum kini ki jayo
ya kane ke yode lang ka bakiati ki jur ki jep ki bangi juyale ku mengilek macam stem tena nakaliang gadis district administration menta kila sedang biang ban pli kawai sete sapo operational side bat kumdu sakinaki area joka last bit side bat kidang wa chu ru yiki jaka katu kate likat ka bai idon kam bandon kini ki kenja whole market ke wholesale market na ka bentar ki jingthum ki jiktep ki jhur ki jep hapo kejela
Hapadeng ke jengkang yat kamai ke local taxi ke auto rickshaw bat ke ki kali jong kirit kiria da ka ba ai daw benjelek persya ya ke jing sapriang ke jing pangklam coronavirus hanrei ke sarkar Meghalaya Democratic Alliance balai lam khmat da ke NPP bat senrap lang da ke UDP BGP PDF HS PDP bat ke independent kila ai lat pat ya kitrok bat kinyat wat hapadeng ke jing penjari ya ke curfew hangni layo i da kispat li kitrok ki bayat ha kasurok lat smith bat ihar senong ba shlong bat ki babon na kini kitrok ide ki bekit doyong ka jingkeli ka pemi kalong hatu kini kitrok kimtai se ki bala ban pinphyang ya ka jimpang covid khat khandai nang ta sa kawai pat ka jingkeli kalong ya ki driver bat handyman kini kitrok laju test nem
Ke Deputy Commissioner juga Riboy District ikong RM Kurba haka shpotrik mentau benai la penram jore gitu ki pin sapriang ka Khubor hamsaya haka beide bakajing keno bakadon kajing di certificate COVID-19 negative haka jaka perking ginong leng nongwan haka COVID-19 screening checkpoint ila pensisha bakani ka Khubor ka bomdan nongrim satya habai krem bikinong tho Khubor ka district ikong Kurba ilong ru bakitu ki pin sapriang ka Khubor hamsaya bakinwan shakmat ban pensisha halo ka te kajing keno balada de shisha kila wan pha to kedling ba ka independent inquiry
Kajing mi gitu ki Khubor kalong ka basngusi si kadai haka bedai bat kajing ong kajing kan tho ba haka liang ki ba pe yang te ki shim yak bisa asfa tingka bat ki ay ka test report kum balong menta ngim don ya kata ka ban le rat test menta ngile betang ka RT-PCR haka bedai bat ka RT-PCR ki brew ki hapsi ka dor jongka badai sanspa tingka bat nang ta bade kin sayo ya kenjar resit haka ba kan tho ikateng jongki bat kapot bal le test ki ka report jongka ni ka RT-PCR ka poi be haka mobile jongki nang wan pai dikan dia halor ka kata ka jing kan tho ka long ba ki sil ka dor hang te kalong ka iki bas ngosi bang ampat yo awiru ka complain so far halor jongata tikini ki Khubor hamsaya shi wan hi bar man kapor ndika ba kalong ban pensi syaya ki namar ba ladang imdan hi da ka complain lene baki breakin wan shakmat ban ong pe ngisiu kumta mo ni kani ngisiu arspa tingkane san spa ka kat ka bagaja kani ki shuong ki brio tinga runga kwa ban ong yaki ki ba ong kum kini ki Khubor ba ladang ade mga bawan pai lene ki kun janga ki wan pai shalari ladang a kemen bang yo light nang te na umling bat ngai thu khana ka leng ka perthai bang yo light nang te na umling da ka basiu ka bisa kata kalong ke ek bas ngusi namar ba kapen i bang ngilong ki bre ki balong irresponsible ki bam sim kia namar ngi dan ne ka klam ngi tip baka jai bendril jangi ka diga jai bendril ka baret baladang ngi le kumta te kalong ke ek bam ma ngi wan ra jing mai ka jai bendril ka jangi mdei ban ong bang ngi di ban sngo sorong ya kata ka jing le bakla ka jangi ndei nga hagan ni ka por lada don kum gitaru nga condemn ki namar ba kani ga penwan rai kum kini ni she ong ye ki ingkong salamat namar balai ba kin shet ye ka jai bendril jangi kamdeng hisdang na iling lojong haba la deki ong bangi light nang tay da ka basius pisa tamat kilik siya no directly kilik siya kayang kasam jangki tamat ki shet iki kon kidi lojong mdai ba ki shet yangi handrai nga ong ye pi ba ni la deki light nang tay la deki sngo ba ngi bakla la da day bakal jasi siya na mga nga ong pi ngam nga flam yo ko complain la da ka day siya kung taru la deki one room hang ni office nga ka day in between shawan poishalo kindaru hang ni kani ngala ban pha be ki hasibil na mangi hasibil rungi le test so kata nga oi pi kadi tang ka jinglong irresponsible jong ki breu ki bakim kim ya thu lem lada ki ya thu lada ka jashi sha kum kataru at least some complaint should have come shiva office ka jongi bangi la ban pen be ya ka hande ka jing bam complain jong ki ka jing bam ya thu ho ka jong ki la ka jing kemen ka jong ki baki light nang te ka wanra ka big question mark ikita ki ba pen banai ki ni Khubor
Kinongilam ke KSU na Riboy District haka shiphotreng mentau benai kelalai banjurup sendet ikrukam trekam juga COVID-19 screening checkpoint kabadan ha umling shibenta ban peitu halor kirukam perking bar kirukam kre binya ikipait ba ki barung shapok kene jala hakum kene por barang jur ke jingpor stat ka klam COVID-19 kene ka jing hiar ka KSU shakate ka khrdop ka long rukum shibenta ban toket halor ka jing sapriang ka Khubor hamsaya halor ka jing de tu ki certificate COVID-19 negative ya ka balakin no baju penyo dikinong trei ki badan hakate ka khrdop ya kini ke jinjurip ai ketika kedap dalam kamat o presiden uba Ferdinand Kharkamni lambat kiwe de kinong kit kam keseng ha ke bakila kindo ki officer ki badan ha ketika kedap balalap ru ba ketika jingkeno kalong kabam dan nong rim satya nakaliang keseng kala pharu ka Khubor ban aimen sim ban yaro halor ka jinglen ladi ba ka jingtre shitom jong kitu ki badan ka benta ka bakrau ha ketika kedap ban nakaliang keseng kala dawaru ka sarkar jilla bakan phai khamat no ru shekitu ki jakarung shepo jokani ka jilla ki badan ha khaput ban yada na ka jing sapriang jokani ka khlam COVID-19
ni pen pau sai ban liang seng ni songu ba yakine ki bolong kita ki paya ki ban yada ya kan ka khlam ka bonrung sak ka jela jungi bat ka jiksim khia jungi kalong haju upor ma pi ka test kala ka report jong ka positive case na kasngi pa kasngi karang kiu bat ka jingyap ru karang bun
bat ngaso banong ban kuntu ya ki dong kariboi ka jungi kabulong ningkong ka gateway bang gidong kam yene ko por ban ye trailang ka jing trailang kam ti tang na ki paro ki sang balang hendrei wat ki banya ya ka kali kamai kum ka taksi asian ka sungo asian bat ki we ki torres asian ba kini trailang bakin pek ngoru haju upor ba finam ket ki no ki bro ki ba fin light na kane ka checkpoint ka ban test pat yiki namar kane kam ong ba ngira hoi ngilayo ya kapisa ka ba la man sha thong ya ki jar harjar ndei ken mau ba ka tu ka jingpang kambit tang yaki kabit ru ya phi ubawan ra ya tu jingpang ka bala bra shing ka sem ka jong phi bat ka pelong ya ka jingma ya ka ying ka snong jong phi bat ka imlang ka salang ka jongi darong asu ban kuntu abang yoi ya kane ka jing tre stom jong kini ki officer hang ne yidong kamru ban ailang kti ka mon kti diang yaki ba kane sibanta jong ka jing imsup ka jungi ban light na de ka klam ka balak q step banta bat ka appeal jungi sya nakaliang ka sengru ya boro kirang ba sinong namar kum ba fitep ba kini ki breu aba kila irong hang ne kile ya test bat kila check lut baro ikot kesla ki sayo bandrung nang ne kai ka banta jong kirang ba sinong ta ka boburom yaki kalong ba pinbot nanti ya kitu ki breu buan nabar bakin syong quarantine ha wei ka jaka ka balkin long marwei la ne isolate yaki bat hadin foksgi la ne khatsauski kumbala patha dak sarkar bakin bot nanti bat ka kamram to ka dorbasnong kalong ka ba dolkam hadu ka tata kalong ba kin pengor yaki bakim dei banmi wat la ka dei ka test ka report blami hadin aski bakilayo negative ru hendrai kin pedepat ya ka quarantine ka juki ka bala banlong foksgi la ne khatsauski
Menteri Ketenaga Kerjaan Kekhia ringkar ke jingsen lang Director ke Health Service Dr. Amanwar hagasi balang menta ka Taiew le jurub ke jing penkre ke Grims Hospital na ke benta banyak khuni ke khram jingpang COVID-19 hagini ke jing le jurub Director ke Grims upi Bhattacharya ula pentip bakalong ka bae ban penboni ke jing thia ki badan berki oksigen bar ki nong trairu ki duna wang ba umdane ka bor ban thumkam palat na ka balabu la ne bei dak sarkar kami या का बमंता कि डन शी स्पॉटली की जिंगथिया की बदन बट का ऑक्सीजन लाइफ होतली की जिंगथिया ना का बनता की बपंग कोविड-19 की बमदन ऑक्सीजन बर आर बसंतली हा आईसीयू का हॉस्पिटल का लखद रुई के जेराब जी खना पुली डॉक्टर बर की बरंग शुपास बर यकिनी लदब आई का ट्रेनिंग हा का बनता का बेदे बर का खलम कोविड-19
These are challenges for which we had been preparing last time. So we trained other doctors and nurses from other parts of the hospital, even the preclinical, paraclinical, even the laboratory services. So they were trained in managing COVID ICU patients. And when this came up, we have called upon their services, given them refresher training, and now they are working with us. We need people, to maintain communication with the relations, wanting to know what is happening to my patient. Sometimes we need people to sometimes bring medicines for them from the pharmacy. We don't want to send the attendants of the COVID patients because they may be weak, they may also be becoming COVID affected. So we are getting other staff. So we are calling upon our staff from administrative section, final year MBBS students, fourth year MBBS students, interns. So they are all coming together so that the services can be given.
Ubahek ulapan pau ke jingkemen ban yo iye ke jingpen kre ke Grims Hospital baru ong ba kator karjala ke long ke bakloi ban ai ke jingkershan ya ke ko hospital lada ka don kam jiara
don kam benyo ya ka order naga government of India idon ke limitation yogi idon kita hendrai kiman poar ke di benyo ka order naga government India as set by the our respected director of Grims.
Kita juga bakal solda kalau menyelek bonyo kita ko order kai.
Kani dah kalian you tinggi dah kalian jangka review meeting bagi long ika ban support. Ya kani ban aga supplement ya giman poar. Ya kita ngene iklan tang haki private hospital, impat iklan haki government hospital ke badai jongka government of India.
ba Preston Tinsong Menteri Rang Ba Benrap ka Sarkar Jala ha ka khat san tereng mentau banai ula pentip ba ka Sarkar Jala ka sasdang ban pensau tho pait ba halor ka jing sapriang jong ka jing pang COVID-19 leng ba ka tana DIPR baria ka ni onle ahmal ka wei pawei ka shnong jong ka Jala Meghalaya
nilai akhir sani phang bana kalian jong go government ni hap gidon kap ya ka ban penpoi ya kini kim ya kini ki jing tip le ni ki jing pensyai pat ba nilai rai hakawai pakoi ke snom jong ke Jala Meghalaya jong ibarawai bana kalian jong ka DIPR na kalian jong ka department IPR kin sim bat kin kitle ya kini haka bagin sedang ya ka kampe ha kawai pakoi ke snom hapo ke Jala Meghalaya jong ibarawai kedang ba ki pat ba kin sotu bat ke bangi kwa kolong ba baleng rai ta kolong bangi kwa ba kai kawai pakoi ke tlewi kim dei ban sim sting ya kini ka jing spread jom nu knyang jing pam ka ba chirthei han ba kata nrei ba ki don kam ban kit kle haman pa kawai haman kawai pa kawai ke yin knang ba ngin la ya ka ban pentikna ba ka jing spread jom nu knyang jing pam kan nam kata hadu kata
Khubor ki badangsa Weru sodar na jingthi apang ban buro mi ki kindon ka Khubor kirpang ka jingsongu ya baro ki ba khamado lani ki frontline workers ki batrei na ka banda ban yada yangi na ka khlam jingpang COVID-19 bar ki we de ki Khubor Uwaini ki sodar hakashnong kinshi kata kinshi maure jrong ulaweri ki paiba bakim dei ban khen sting ka khlam jingpang COVID-19 nama yela deru ulangat hakane ka jingpang uniu sodar ba kerteng ba korbar langs emli yo baju khadru ba jim ulasha sumar ningkong e hakinshi PHC Hadian lara IU Shamai Rang CHC hakabala lap udan ke jingpang COVID-19. Menta udan ha jing sumar ha Bethany Hospital. Da ke jing sokhia ke jing sapriang ke ke jingpang uniu sodar ular record hi yeladi ban ai ke jingkran shaki pajba.
Actually baro ki green tax member. Akarpada pi baro bakinamya simsting ina ken sting ha be de corona. Haru mantangan dengan sistem yang bocor. Namla bantuan mensiam dengan air kebasi buat jadi jingdua lang lebih jadi kenal lebih jadi mentangan tentang kini ke mesin oksigen plus bagi drip mengisi tiap begini dengan lang kami namla ban keren tentang kertas PUI kena makin sting sumar bahaya lebih dengan bagi mas fight back kiti buram social distancing karena nak kendaya train untuk kami Maria nak bantu beli yo batik oksigen kubisi bona aku beli Mr. Sherman beberapa kenal yang apa ni kan lagi yang macam agregat foundation kubisi bona itu barat mentan kisni bala dapno di iba ya kama wen ki video bang apply dengan banta kinopang bayo covid positif kumuk ka itu sibon ba JE ke bangang ke kenduk kamtam ka bay de dan sulong ja kamat jonga ada ko yakya ke banong no ka jingring mensin ngasem jenjang stom tung panta ka jengpi iwai sesisin ba menta apreng jing pulang ke jengpi jing tuai Melayu akan mereka berkamkan mentah dan empat yo hidup fully cover hidup mentah recovery hidup mentah nama harba ngampat tip hidup ba yang sedang yo negatifnya ada beda dengan wajib sistem kemar ngampat tes biang sesisir rekrutmen skam dengan yo mereka negatif dan belak akan klanyo kalau lekas juga jangan yang wajib tang cerita kemudian oh ya kaji kensting pada gawai yang bang akan ba kana Jepang kana kota yang ginagandang andre hadirin kan di bang terai di bang ayat bang kasih namsa aku perkat inde dengan kendu ibri kebun om tang ni po jela inde kendu ibri mabar jang jela kunjur te kaji tangku wat ki ngam sama semutu su ilade hai ka banta ka bang layu kata ini Jepang ada ka basya kalau nang tahu ba kaji bom site bahagi kiti kaji bom pikir ha ya social distancing baru kumju kaji bom pikir bah ka beda pada ka mas nang ati kena ba kata Jepang kada limbang kata hi kaji kan oh kita ngat kan niwat ki orlok jonga ki balaya yo hi kaji Jepang ndai ngam syana kenya ka por ba maki ilong diberi bakam kan government tikam dapau hak positif lah sampai kesulong negatif bad dengan pada kaji telat dengan kamar jangan kepenio yang kan kaji hitam hadin kartu kat isni masukku ila de hak por bang yo ni kom kat hi ni kaji su khian du ya katis ane ban jing ban masuk thu su bak thang ne batyang alor kata ru kajing semua ngam yo semua su tentu ya baru ki paiba ki bom 4D ka vaccination ti akar pada kini semua bahan bandel ban ai ka vaksin jadi kenang pelan ya ni ka Jepang kamar ni yang film kwa bahkan di Jepang kan wana ga yi macam pi dan karena ka jempi
video kemauring keneng ubaroni walang hena kesengi palai jong khatlai tere ujumang ulakin tu ikipai ba bakin dong iba pikir bat ban bot nanti ya kendon koit kekhia ban nai nyau niu nyang Jepang besir ke ukuvet kat kendai haba ajing kren ha kejengerang kablalong aplau jong kanong krem Youth Development Association ubaroni walang ulaweru ikipai ba bakin mi syakman ban sim ya utika covid namar di tangganehi kabala banjada yangi na kejengbet yau niu nyang Jepang ulakin tu ru ikipai ba bakin di banong adakar balakang ru yaki beliau ki banabar sinong bakin wan sinong krem khamtam le yaki to ki batmu wan sajan bat banwan khwai do kha
bakadaw ba pawanra yakani ka containment ba ka lockdown kalong jing bang khen snap jong ki babon balang hakabede bat uniu nyang Jepang kabas ngomsi kalong yaki doktor ko ngo Hendai ya kita giba penpur gi Khubor hamsayan giba pentin pensengit nia kok ngulut barok nasungsi banyak thua ipi baka vaccination siapa ni than gi jungi kalong tan sipo naka sispan kendai po kidang snap ya kita ki weipan let's say gi balaban ai kalat jingyada persya yoniu knyang Jepang hak bade baka jingyap brew laksa tang hatsan lada day bakhlat no niu nyang Jepang ne na kiwei pat kidam laksa tang hatsan mut ba anlet ban pendep ya kabasan entang kata hakatu kayeng badan ya kejingja kabas ngosi lakerpan bakinumdan kejing kawai kanumdan kejing samsha kanumdan kejing sam ya kabam kedi let not let's say tam kito kibadai kibahiyeng try kabalai kihap bandan ya ka register jo kinong lek nong wan hakatu kayeng kasem kabasaw lada mdeng mas anong syak banrung hakatu ka yeng kasem berkebakham kongsan kalong ban simkia na kaliang jo ki borsno batang ki bahayeng try berhaba ong try in semua bah bangin semua tho ikon kikti ikme kikpa kihimen kipara kisongka bat kibana bars nong min persyang hikat bala lat setan bakide ikon kikti kenja keni ba nginum pat ailan nama kani kamdi kapor banginong emotional
ka Rotary Club Shillong hinin kasngit ho diang jong khat sa tari ujumang kala no sinyang da ki oxygen concentrators sya ka hospital jong ka 67 battalion CRPF hapulong yakini ki oxygen concentrator lawan pli da umenti ka khia jong jela uba el hek
donated by the Rotary Club Shillong to the CRPF and Khubor Shillong. So I wish all the best and I hope we will together fight for this COVID-19.
Komandan jong ka 67 battalion CRPF u alok batat saja haba ajing kran hakani kasngi ulai kublai kerpang ya ka Rotary Club Shillong ba ya ka soka jela halor ka jingno sinyang ka jongki yakini ki oxygen concentrators u president ka Rotary Club Shillong u Arundhati Paul ula pentip ba ka Rotary Club Shillong ka don jing thmu ban ai ya ki oxygen concentrators saya ki BSF Ramkrishna mission bat ki wei kum shibanta banyakhun ya kani ka khlam covid khat khandai
Kinongkit kam jong MLA bet MDC ko umsning constituency hakakat artarek mentau banai ki lashimkhia banai pinpoye ki marba mardi shikatu ga nidli ki longyeng hakishinong ki bahab po kani ka constituency ki bahab ban shong pinkarpang ya lade hadin beladan ki bayo ekajing pang COVID-19 yagite ki marba mardi lalej ban pinpoy de kinongkit kam bah khmat jong MLA bet MDC ki bakintup yu balances emle lemot ki wei ki bara pinpoy yagine ki marbam shakishinong ki bakintup ye ko umdihar saiden maukhla mausen tai samlem nong maulong tasor nong kermi
kumta nang lang jinga Khubor Ka Taiew ibu koi ni sungo pun ai buram mi kim MDC jungi ba filang borok ki ba inget ba blay un kurku ki kam ti jungi un kurku ya jikot dikha di ba umpla je pi sa siliang ba kana kam pang ba idwar ba blay udumino yangi ba nang yo shu ki start ki simpang
Isong thu ye kajing e ka ba phi kendo ki ia kata ke jing huslai ni ia kata jing nok mensim ke jongpi rekum kata por aku akan pha ia ke mens ia ke khubor jong ka jing songo ke khubor jong ka jing kermen ba ke khubor jong ka jing ai mensim pi baro ki badon hakni ka ma jong jing ele ngin kham kiao ngin sangye no banyalap ni hu tang spa kata ke video jing kermen Dekadega por ini bangin yathu ya ka khubor jong jing kermen pat ya kata jong pat ya kata jinget ka mengi don pa ka wegas ni ngin job ya kan ke jingele namar halinde jong lo o bedum ka don gasni ka petition aku aru ben yathu ipi hin ka por aku aru ben ai kata khubor shepi boblei bangi ni sakri udan senda jong pi un kersyane pi, un sumare pi, un yalamne pi nak gasni sekawai pak gasni. Baka nuo kanu gasni kan muyo kanong halor jong pi.
Apdeng kene gaji kun pialong jicang ki bakmat ban yakun ya kene akhlam. Klam daga jingting, klam daga jingsmit, klam daga nono ga jingsngo. Pilami nak ing gisam ban ino lo jong ikon ngikti ban ino iki bahing hasam jong pi ban mi ban ai jing sumar. Iki bayo yang kena jingpang bagi kinong pang jangan jala paro. Kumta naliang kajonga nga kitbok kirwiang ipi bau blay nondon kat lembat pi un ai pi ye kimet ki bakwat bakia but un plan ipi na jing scouting ye jing snow ban kenran din no ban ai ke jing sumar ne ke jing yakun hakum kene kapor baka jala kamar ke jing bagi pat ba jongi ki kendo yang baka ne ke jing wan jong ne klam. Kumta naliang kajonga nganduai bau blade like rat unri un sumar un don dekat lambat pi un plat ye pi lengba ke jingpang ke jing strong un plat ye pi ye ke jing ma baro kam tam ye ke jing bit ini ye ke kham covid-19 dan coronavirus hari bau blade unri un sumar ye pi bau yo ye pi ye ke mensim ke baslur ba pinang la ban chakri ban ai ke chakri ke bapura ye ke pat ba ban kinong pang ga jala jongi kumba ken ga jong play ko angru ba ke chakri ye ke para breu ke ke chakri yo play
ke jing slur ke jing len na dir jong pi kanong nong len we ban ni ngets kam ba ke jing trai stom jong pi kan wan ra sisa ya kata ke jing ya kata ke jing yo ya ke jing ko jing kya na kamanta ibabon ibayo ya kan ya jingpang coronavirus ako pedi por na so banong pide kisipai om tang jong kamen henry ru jong kamen sim ba pi ajing slur yangi baro ipat ba ibasyong ayen asam mga bagiyen kasam ikular bagin ai ya jing kersan en ai ya jing sungo ya pi barbor kam tame ha ke jing dwai jongi bagin dwai parabor na kabanta ba pinlan ya kane ke jingpang bagi bahiyeng hasam jumpi ken light na ke jing ke jing shon kat ba pidang tre haki hospital
hakum kani ke por ke pemerintah hakane ke jingele ke jongi kum ke jala berkum ke perthai berokoi na kwa ban ai ya ke jing kublai ke bekerpang na kementar ki frontline workers baro gitu ki badan ke sarkar naduk ki doctors, naduk ki nurse, naduk ki nongtray ki nongtray asha, ki nongkit kam jo ki dorbar snong baper ki seng mahalang ki baper ki riu shimet, ki balawan sakmat ban ai ke keti ke diang ke keti ke mon ke jongki ban kener ke jingerap nakaliang ke jongki akum kini ki por ki mamanta
nakaliang jong akum nong mikmat ngaso ban ai ku beli kerpang yaki bagi nang la ban yo kamet ke bokot ke bakya bagi nang la ban nang tre sitom khamba kini ki por ke banwan nge suthu ke jing khun kamlong ke besuk kalong ke ba ado kata ban ngikit bok yang yaki kumju ru ya ke sarkar ya ke district administration ya kitu baro ki rangba snong ki ni ki CCMC ki bran hek snong pair ngikit bok yang yaki bikin nang la ban ya khun ya kan ke khlam
nitip baklama pi menchum snem ru ngimnum chim dala banya kun ya kan ka khlam bar hakani ka kanti sa shisen manta de ma phi ba mi samadan banya kun na banta jongi tingi ni kwa ai phi ban tip ba ni kan mau ya phi man ka sngi bat ni bu ka jing duai na banta jong phi ngikit bok ket rang ya phi but ngimla ban ai khuble namar bangi tip la len la de phi le se yake ying kasem la jongru phi haban e khnang ba phinya da yanga ba iki wei hak im lang sa lang ti ini kentin ban ong ba ngi sngongu hadu kata kata but baladan kanu ai ke e bangi ni la ban le kum kinong song snong sngob ha ban tip changi le se kamla ban wan kata ka jingut ha hangi ba ka e ka ba phia don kam ha kani ka por handrei sngob ha long ki ba kloi ban tip ban ngi kum kinong song snong ru kari ka kamram jongi bangin kersan e phi ha kanu ka benta ba kanu ka liang
Kalian jongi ruka RiKhasi Channel agak berbaro ki nong tray jongka di ka channel ke jongi ni wan han ke por bangin khatlang ki pai ba baro jong ke jela ha hukum ke por ba ka jela kamat ya ke jilan shop jong ke ka klam covid kat kandai ka baki ong kata ka second wave ka bala shop ya ke jela ke jongi ba kelang kisnang ke po jong ke jela ho ai bangi perkhat di ki bru ke webet ya ke jengpang ni smosen e ba ni sngolem da ta jong kiru Nai kan ka por ngi kop pen pau ya ko wi ka jing snow ko jogi ba kata kalong karpang nangam ta ki doctor ba ki nurse ki patri ha ki hospital ki ba fer ko ka jala ka jogi kam tam e ki tu ki ba dei duty yani ki ba di ban trai ha ki kita ki covid ward ani ki dewa jadi ki ba da di ban pe sumari ki bri ki mangat ya di ka chungpang ni so thu ba kalong ko ba e adu kat nu nam ta jongki namar ba ki ban trai bon kenta po ki ward Bada ke juga por gi bona pre jogi kim yo kala bani phai shali yang salasam bala ki khon ki ti bala ki men ki para bala kimi ki pat kum yuru bala ki kimi ki pa gi jogi tinga smo ba kum ki pai ba jogi chala kan ke por ngi yang telilang da koi ka sor da koi ka jungmut man ai man sim ya ki ban sngulam da kam ta jogi ka jing lan la di ka jogi ha ka ba ki la IT la ka jogi jingim apeng ke jingma ka ba ki tre la ka ba ban pla yam ya ka we koi ka sim ka ba ko dor ka ba Pois aqui hospital como que aqui por que bamenta
Here we are, we stand together. Here we are, with a grateful
Thank you all for the life you saved.
You have spent the sleepless night sacrificing all your life. You faced life like no one else could do. You're the brave heart of humanity.
Tears are sore
Ti shwa ba penkut ya kenika program ke jungi ko mana khube kerpang ya kita baro ki balaya. Yasno tilang bangi ha ke jingkhat ke jungi ban yen ai kan ke khubor ka jingkermen la ke mata ki doktor ba kinas ba baro ki tu ki frontliners ki ba lana di ki ba IT le jong kapor ke bor ke jumut ke jingkhat ke jungki ka ba kum ke kapor ka ba ka ba kilang mo kala tray palat pur kai ba ki ba tray dan ki ba long stretch kata ka jing tray kam ke jungki ka ban penkut ya kan ka program jingi ba perken mau ya baro ki frontliners ba menyuruh ki nok tray ka ka khia ba ka ting ke jo blai ka perken mau yungi ba bangi syakri ki para brio ka dei ru ka jing syakri ya blai ka ting jo blai ka perken mau ru ba ka ong ba pi le ya kanur ka kam ya iwe na plen ki bari de ke jonga pile ta ka jonga kan di kin tin ke bo tribe nong ding Jesus discourse kren am ka tin ke jong bangangai ba kin kin tin kalau ke jong same ya baro kinong tray jo ka khia ki doktor ba kinas bakal nong ke jong same ya ki bakin kan mauru bakal di syakri ki jong ki kalau ke baki syakri ya oblai ba pi le ba pi sumari kita ki bapang ke sistem ingek ba ke jing kerhu ba oblai ru ondon kana ba pi